Hello and welcome to Say Hi to the Future, a podcast aimed at highlighting the human side of ingenuity. My name is Ken Tenser, CEO of SpyderWorks, a leading business consultancy for mid-market organizations and entrepreneurs globally. With me today is Elisa Torres Durney, founder of Girls in Quantum, an organization creating spaces where girls and teens can learn more about quantum computing while providing them with the resources they need to get involved in the field and make an impact by strengthening their abilities and talents. Like this video if you enjoy our show and subscribe to our channel. Leave us a comment with who we should interview next. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. So Elisa Torres, welcome to Say Hi to the Future.
Hi, Ken. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invitation. And yeah, I'll be more than happy to share what we do in Girls in Quantum and a little bit about my story as well.
No, that sounds great. So just so that the listeners and viewers totally understand, you founded, and we'll talk more about it, but you founded Girls in Quantum at 16 years old. You are a Cambridge research scholar, a LinkedIn Quantum Top Voice, a country chair for STEM, 100 women leaders in Chile in 2022. And that was only a few years ago that we're talking about. So you are still a teenager.
Exactly. Well, that's right. Yeah, I think that, well, all of these things that I've been doing are really have been coming up during this journey, I would say. And yeah, I've been exploring, well, topics from, well, around STEM, for example, in neurobiology, in, for example, Cambridge, also quantum computing, which has been quite new for me. So I think that it's been a journey of exploring and, yeah, being curious.
So how does this journey begin, though? How do you get so fascinated by the different areas of STEM?
I believe that there are different factors that has contributed to me to perhaps be involved in these initiatives and programs. One of them is, well, during the pandemic, I was, as many students and many people, I was bored. And yeah, I think that I completely kind of underestimated, sorry, the power of being bored. So the boredom. And so I kind of went to, even I would say, many programs, online programs and courses, and it was like so great too. For example, I did one in neuroscience and different topics as well, computer science and Python. So it was great for me to kind of discover these courses. And afterwards, I found this course that was called Introduction to Quantum Computing. And it was from IBM and the coding school. And yeah, it was like, wow, such a great thing that happened to me. I remember applying to that program and I received this scholarship from IBM. So I was like jumping on my bed, like really happy. So yeah, that was like the program that led me to discover the world of quantum computing. And I was immersed in quantum, like the introductions of quantum computing throughout 8 months. So it was great for
Very
me.
cool. And now, so you're in Chile,
Yeah, right now.
but you did have an opportunity. So I'm just west of Toronto, and
Oh,
you spoke at the Perimeter Institute, I believe,
yeah, that's
not
right.
far away. So tell us about the Perimeter Institute and why they brought you up to speak.
Yeah, that was such an amazing experience. That was my first time that, well, our organization called me to go there and travel. It was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So I was definitely enjoying a lot. And it was definitely to collaborate in this project that we had in Girls in Quantum. So it was to provide or to encourage more girls to uh, be involved in STEM, especially because they had this sort of webinar and event right there. So it's inspiring future women in science, which was incredible. And they organize that event each year. And yeah, I was like super, super grateful to be there and share with other scientists right there and people that are involved in STEM and different areas as well. So I gained a lot of knowledge, but I also could interact with some graduate students from University of Waterloo, and we recorded great interviews right there. I interviewed Anna Noor and Ben McClellan, and both of them were so nice to me. And we kind of did these interviews to later share that with our research program within Girls in Quantum and the collaboration with Perimeter Institute. So students from all over the world can learn about quantum computing, quantum sensing, and different areas explained in a really easy way.
So that's a great segue, because I think that we need you to do that. What is quantum computing in very easy language?
Yeah, well, I think that, well, if a scientist or a physicist listens to me, it will be like, oh, this girl explained this in a really different way. But I think that I've learned different definitions. But the best thing that I think that for me it's the best is that this is an emergent technology, right? So it doesn't work as the binary or binary computers that works with 0 or 1s. So quantum computers are much powerful and efficient, but they are not supercomputers because they work with quantum mechanics and quantum physics. So they enhance these three main properties. They enhance superposition, entanglement, and interference, which make these computers so powerful and efficient. And they are mainly sort of designed to solve problems that our laptops, for example, the one that we're using right now, cannot solve. So that's the main like the summary. And I think that there are so cool applications that could be developed or implemented in the future. Of course, quantum computers are still being developed and has many things to like improve. For example, the coherence and error correction, and noise, things like that. But I think that, for example, for me, pharmaceutics and the applications of modeling large proteins, it's just amazing for me.
So when you talk about quantum computers being
Yeah.
able to solve problems that our laptops can't,
Yeah.
is there an element of thinking or intelligence? Like, what makes them different and be able to solve a problem?
Yeah, so it's mainly the way that they are designed and the algorithm they use. So there are different algorithms as well. So there's Gruber's algorithm, George's algorithms, things like that that are much efficient and that work in another way that, or classical computer works. So this much complex, and it lets space to more sort of experiments that we can do. Also, I highly encourage everyone to, for example, visit IBM Quantum Experience website. So right there, they can go and even experiment with a real quantum computer, which is, wow, so amazing, right?
Okay, so you go through this experiences journey again as a teenager, still as a teenager, which it's amazing. It truly is amazing to me. And you found girls in quantum. You founded girls in quantum. What moved you to that, and what do you want to do with that?
Yeah, I think that also it was like, well, the fact that getting into, for example, this program and learning a lot about quantum computing and quantum mechanics, of course, all of this in an introductory way, I kind of get this sense and feeling of being surrounded by a community of enthusiastic people and peers, students that were around the world, but they are connected, all of them in a class. Because of their passion and curiosity in terms of technology, we were all gathered. I believe that we were 1,000 students in Zoom learning about quantum mechanics and Schrodinger CAD. So it was definitely something that I really like, and I wanted to do the same and kind of recreate that in my community, especially in my school. And yeah, I think that it was, I can say this, for example, that there was not just many females in my class, for example, but that happens as well in many other countries and for many other people, right? So I really wanted to do something in my class, in my community. And I said to myself, well, let's create these videos, like let's share information that I see on class. So it's kind of that the initiative that led me to this. But afterwards, I remember like, hey, if I'm interacting with 1,000 students, why not perhaps telling them like about this initiative so we can do something together, right? So two minds work better than one, or at least that is what I say here. So yeah, I think that I get in touch with them, with the other students, and some of them replied as well. So I remember that I had this message from a girl from Spain, from a girl from Africa, and from United States. So I was like, wow, this is so cool that we can do this together. So step by step, we started with this organization in terms of, well, it wasn't called organization at first. It was like step by step, but we started with this project, sharing these educational resources. We started translating content as well, from English to Spanish, and also to other languages as well. Or India ambassadors started translating some content to Tamil. We have been doing some seminars, and yeah, it's been a great journey.
So, and I know you talked about, speaking to 1,000 people and going from there. How do you build, though? How do you serve? Because now I think you've worked with girls and students from more than 20 countries. So
Yeah.
how does that build so quickly? I mean, what is the trigger for all these other young girls and students, or young ladies and students, to get
Yeah.
engaged?
Of course. So I think that, well, I didn't expect this program to be that large. So it was 1,000 students. I said, like, well, what could be like the probability that someone would reply to that message and would be
Mhm.
interested in getting involved, right? So I definitely like tried that, and some people replied, of course. But afterwards, I think that it was like, okay, so someone, perhaps you can message that person, and we started like this sort of chain between people. So many students got then joined the organization or joined Girls in Quantum, because we started sharing or promoting our organization in social media as well, and LinkedIn a lot. We started making a lot of connections, and which has been key for us. Networking, honestly, is key. So I think that those sort of things have been important to us. Besides that, we've been trying to reach other people as well to attend some events, so we can not just reach students but also possible collaborators, to share our mission, and yeah, be able to expand this to get to other regions as well.
Are these girls who are already engaged in STEM, or like you, are they ones who may just have an interest or a curiosity when they first reach out?
Yeah, so I think that, well, there's a combination. I think that, well, first, we're named Girls in Quantum because, well, as I mentioned before, there's a devastating gender gap in terms of girls in STEM. However, we want to promote more girls to be involved, right? But anyone is really welcome to join. So boys are also working with us or learning. So it's totally, so anyone that is seeing this video, we are welcome to join. But yeah, in terms of that question, I think that we've been trying to get, for example, people from elementary school or high school, and also from their graduate even. So they're learning, for example, just physics, or they have, for example, a great level of quantum mechanics. So we have different levels, and for that, we kind of, okay, share with them some materials, educational resources. We also encourage someone that wants to learn to go to our Instagram as well, and LinkedIn or website, and they can look at all of the resources that we have right there. And if they want to volunteer, they can go to our website as well and join. For example, there's a join form, I believe, so they can join right there. So there are different options as well that we want to share with students.
Very cool. So they come to the site. There's opportunities to learn. There are events. Are there virtual events,
Yeah,
or?
we organize monthly seminars as well, and also interviews with people are involved in quantum. So we organized, our first seminar was in 2022, I believe, with a day in English and Spanish. And now we're trying to organize different seminars as well each month with people, like they're teaching us something that they're, for example, really advanced in that topic, or perhaps we're just interviewing them to share their experience and their background.
What sort of support have you received? I mean, are you getting support from schools, from universities, from organizations? Like, how is this all feeding into
Yeah,
your?
I think that it has been definitely challenging to get to and reach, for example, universities and institutions, or sometimes companies. So it's been definitely a challenge to, for example, email them. But even though I think that we've made like the, I don't know, the possibility of getting to know people that are working towards inclusivity also of students in education. So they have, for example, educational departments, and we try to reach the people right there. We have collaborated with IBM for some seminars in terms of sharing educational resources about quantum computing. Also with Perimeter Institute, once again, Levagun, we are doing some free courses in schools, public and private schools here in Chile. All across Chile, we're doing that courses. So really excited about that. And also we have received a lot of support from people from, for example, I believe graduate students from the University of Waterloo, from the University of Toronto, Technion Institute at Israel. So definitely we're so grateful for all this support, and also the enthusiastic people that are like, hey Lisa, how can I help? Or let me just collaborate with this. So it's definitely great to have that support.
Oh, that's amazing. And it's great to hear about the support you're getting. What's the ultimate goal? I mean, I know it's only been going on for about a year, but is it to continuously engage girls and students? Is it to, you talked about research? Is it to have some breakthrough insight? Like where does this go to?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think that we have different sort of outcomes that we want to approach, and well, one of them is, of course, keep democratizing the education of quantum computing. Like, for example, bringing these great opportunities. For example, here's like a seminar right here going on, or a conference, or even a course that it's being developed by these experts. So we want to bring those opportunities to students. We also want to focus on the gender gap. So we want to like include more girls, include more females from different schools, and get them to have these opportunities. And thirdly, I think that getting these sort of sponsorships and collaborations between other organizations. We know that we cannot do this by ourselves. We're really enthusiastic and everything, but of course we need this collaboration with other people and organizations. So we hope that we can create, for example, hackathons, provide scholarships to students, and those things thanks to the collaboration of other people. So those are our three main goals so far.
Oh, those are great. And does this include, because you talked about running it in English and Spanish, do you look to have girls in quantum in a different country, in a different language, translating? Like how does that work?
Yeah, I think that, well, in terms of the first sort of milestone that we want to like reach, in terms of democratizing the education of quantum, I think that well, translating their posts or educational resources is essential. Since if we want to get to other regions or other countries, we need to have accessible information, right? So we want any volunteers, any people that wants to join us in terms of translating those posts to come and reach us so we can start doing that. But also right now, we're starting creating new chapters in, for example, in India and Australia. So we're really excited about that. That's the kickstart of new chapters. So there's PhD students right there that is helping us in India create this Pune chapter in that region with our India ambassador as well, Rohini. And also in Australia, there's Muria right there. She's helping us with creating this sort of chapter right there. So we're really enthusiastic about what could happen.
Very cool. Now, one of the other things, you're a Cambridge Research Scholar. What is a Cambridge Research Scholar? And firstly, are you still in high school, or have you gone on to university?
Yeah, so I'm still in high school. I'm a senior. So my school starts in March and ends in November approximately. So I think that, well, I'm a senior year right here, and I'm honestly enjoying the last sort of, I don't know, this last season, I would say, of school. So I'll definitely miss it, my classmates as well, and my teachers. I have so much fun in school. But yeah, I'm also excited on the future, and what could be next. I think that, well, Cambridge Research Scholars was specifically this program that got me into research. I believe that was my first experience doing this sort of literature review. And yeah, I kind of went and had these mentorship sessions throughout 13 weeks and learn about regenerative neurobiology and gene therapy, which back then I was like, what is this? But still, I wanted to try something new. So I got into this program. Thankfully, I got as well and a scholarship as well to participate. And yeah, I had the great experience to share with other international students learning about this topic, and also had mentors from the Cambridge University as well. So it was really enriching opportunity for me.
Okay, very, very cool. The other thing I'm noting and wanted to understand, it says G100 WEF country chair for STEM. So
Yeah,
WEF, I take it as a World Economic Forum.
it's actually the Women Economic Forum, so it has
Okay.
the same sort of letters.
Okay. So thank you for
No
correcting
worries.
me. So what is the Women's Economic Forum then?
Yeah, so it's really great. It's sort of a community of women that are empowered or advocates for more women becoming involved in different areas. So for example, there is sustainability, there's education. Well, I believe there are many areas actually. There's even finances, if I'm not wrong. So we're kind of, there are main 100 women around the world that are kind of leading these chapters, that are advocating for more women and females to join. And I think that that's such a great initiative. I had the honor to be named as the country chair of STEM here in Chile, and I'm really glad. Honestly, of course, I cannot take it for granted because this is a huge responsibility for me. But still, I think that I have this purpose of continuing educating, for example, in terms of STEM, quantum computing, reach more schools. I think that one of the things that I've been doing right now is the courses with Levagon and going across Chile with public and private schools. So those are the missions. I think that we have a long way to go as well in terms of different initiatives that we want to create. However, I think that would be one step further.
No, that's amazing. So I want to get back to something because I am sitting in Toronto. You've mentioned the University of Toronto.
Oh
You've
yeah.
mentioned Waterloo University, which those are both globally recognized universities. I will give that plug out for Canada and for our area. So just tell me a little bit more about the panel that you sat on. And what did you discuss? Again, about the ecosystems in quantum computing.
Yeah, I think that, well, in that one was organized by I believe this council of from India, in terms of quantum ecosystems, and it was great for me to get involved in that sort of panel because it was my first time talking about quantum ecosystem by itself instead of just, for example, democratizing education in quantum. So I well started this sort of panel sharing about what we do, but also how many people see that, well, students can have this impact, right? So we as Girls in Quantum, we're like from students to students, and we want to reach more people and say like, hey, this can happen. And I think that now the next step could be to have more support from other organizations as well. So I think that youth empowerment is such a great thing. I think that there are many enthusiastic students around the world that has like these brilliant ideas that can be like really powerful for example, initiative in terms of health, in terms of technology, different areas, and innovation as well. So I think that this ecosystem was the space to share like, hey, we're teenagers that can have many ideas. So let's see how we can create this environment and this ecosystem of encourage students that can support each other and collaborate to make this happening, right? So it's not just an idea right now, but also it could be a project that can impact not just people itself, not just adults, but also kids. So that could be like the main idea of it.
And when you talk about that, and I know you've mentioned about working to democratize quantum computing,
Yeah.
that seems like a big task because I will say that I'm not sure that I will understand quantum computing. I don't think you'll be able to count me in the democracy. So how do you bring such a complicated issue and connect it to more people to understand about the power it brings to humanity and potentially resolving, some of the wicked problems that we have?
Of course. So I think that, well, definitely democratizing the education would not be one thing over that we'll do overnight. And especially not just us. So there are many not industries, but companies and initiatives that are making sort of progress in this. But I think that what we can do and what we have been doing is getting to in contact with, for example, mentors and professors as well. So people that are educating in this area that can be a part of Girls in Quantum and share their experience through seminars, through courses. Right now, I just met like some days ago with this group from Silicon Valley, and I remember that was one person that like was, okay, Lisa, we're now developing this 18 weeks course. Let's share that with your students. And that's totally great. So what we want is like, we have these opportunities right now, and we want to keep sharing that with other students. And also that students can just get to know their mentors, for example. In this research program that right now we're organizing with Perimeter Institute, we have 4 mentors from Canada. So all of them are teaching us about quantum mechanics and different topics. And it's great because they can also share their experience and kind of advise the students on how to go into their projects. So I think that it's key for us, the mentoring part, and also the way that we can reach students and reach mentors as well to collaborate.
Well, Elisa, I mean, you're only at the beginning of your journey, and you're talking about Perimeter, you're talking about Cambridge, you're talking about Silicon Valley. So already an unbelievable body of work. So truly congratulations. And as our time starts to run short on Say Hi to the Future today, where do you see yourself in the future? Where does this, university is next, I'm guessing, but where does it ultimately lead you to?
Yeah, so I think that first, I think that I've been really grateful for all the opportunities that I've been having, for example, in terms of education, in terms of reaching students and getting to know their stories as well. That's for me the best, and I think that that's what I enjoy, and I think that I can consider that as a passion. So I think that I want to continue that passion at university. I have been really encouraged to perhaps go to United States or Canada or other countries, honestly, abroad, to study and continue my studies. So I'll definitely go for it. I think that I'll give it a chance. And if not, I'll study here in Chile. But even though if I study even abroad or here in Chile, I want to continue with STEM. I am considering engineering as a possible career or major. I've seen, for example, biomedical engineer as an option as well, because I would really want to literally specialize in pharmaceutics and how can that impact, and perhaps even quantum computing. So there are many options right there. And I think that, right now, I'll really like to continue with what I love to do with Girls in Quantum, keep engaging with other students, and see what could happen in the future.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I have a feeling that a lot is going to happen in your future. I think a lot of doors are going to open. So, Elisa Torres, thank you again for being part of Say Hi to the Future today.
Well, thank you, Ken, for the invitation. I was so happy to be here.